was the same thing I was just thinking about. Like, yo, why is this nigga still talking?
You asked me a question. I was ready.
Oh, I'm just saying, yeah, because like I was saying, when Zion was upstairs today, right? We're just like bullshitting. I walk in, and she's like, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm filming myself do homework. I was like, why? She was like, well, you're the one that like sit there and talk in front of the camera. So that was some weird shit. But go ahead, what the Harmony about?
No, yeah, Harmony. Before she destroyed her iPhone, was filming herself doing everything, like doing little makeup tutorials, doing push-ups, and playing little characters. And I think it helps kids build up their confidence. And for her, it definitely helped build up a little profile. She got her some kind of like a licensing deal for one of her videos of her like it was like a funny makeup tutorial video that some big YouTube partner saw, and they put it in one of their compilations. So she'll see some change, I believe, every time that's
that's nice.
Viewed and all that type of stuff. But just in general, like I feel like the kids talking to their phone helps with their confidence, and it's helping them like build up their brand and their business at the same time. Like that musically, I mean, now it's TikTok, but that's
TikTok
that's completely built off of kids.
That's true, because Zaya kills TikTok every single day.
I've never been on there a day in my life.
Yeah,
and that's you know what I'm saying. That's one of the top 5 apps.
Yeah, she kills it. Like I was, because her mom has all her profile information, right? Mm-hmm. So her mom sees everything she posts.
Yeah, that's how I am with Melody's phone.
Yeah, so sometimes she got to say, yo, you got to take that down. That's too fast, or you doing too much, whatever, But it's also to monitor messages, because niggas is creeps. So
yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, so this is the 4th video cast, which is now a vlog. Someone corrected me a little earlier and told me that it's vlog. It's not a video cast or a podcast.
How long have you been calling this a video cast?
The last 3 episodes. So.
Oh, okay. I've never heard that term.
Fuck everyone that has not said anything about that.
Yeah, this is definitely a vlog. 100%.
Well, yeah, I've been off the internet for a while now, so for me it was a video cast.
I've never heard video cast in my life.
Play music.
Maybe podcast.
Look at the state we in. 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 Now I said.
Hi, Daddy.
All right, so this episode we're talking about just the state of raising kids, right? And the difference probably between like what we did when we were kids and what they do now as their kids. Also with the climate of police and how you have to raise your kid accordingly to like whatever the hell is going on in the world, right? And the abundance of information that they have, but the lack of knowledge that they get with the information. So, I remember when we were younger, the encyclopedia was like a big thing.
Yeah.
So we would have to, they were like, yeah, like, all right, so what do you want to learn about the world? Okay, go over there and get the big W book.
Yeah.
Remember, you bring the book down. It only tells you a little bit of shit because somebody wrote that like maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with
Because they've been doing encyclopedias since door-to-door sales.
Exactly.
And that was lit. It was like, oh man, do I got the bread for the encyclopedia, man? Like, like, I just got the A's. Let me get the A's,
right?
And the C's,
right? And don't short me because I need A through D.
Yeah, come back next week.
Yeah,
I need all these. Yeah.
So now it's a touch of the phone. So sometimes Zaya will get some information that'll be like, wow, for whatever reason. So sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm talking to her, I'm like, yo, Zaya, where do you get these like wow thing? Oh, the internet, Dad. Like I'm sitting here, I'm looking at Wikipedia, and I'm like, yo, that's It's not a reliable source. They don't even let you use that in college.
That's true.
She's like, for real? She's like, I go there all the time. So just the abundance of information that the kids get, but the lack of knowledge that comes with it kind of like scares me. Because like they really are believing what's going on.
Yeah, but I mean, in our day and age, it's not too far from all the stories we heard, but all the stories were friend of a friend.
Facts.
Or Tommy. Is that his name? There's always like some like sex story with some
Tommy?
kid named Tommy.
Oh yeah, Tommy. There was a lot of Tommies when we were growing up.
See what I'm saying? All the sex stories involve some little kid named Tommy.
That's true.
Like, Tommy and his babysitter, Tommy and his teacher, Tommy and this, Tommy and that. It was like,
So
it was weird.
So
but
you don't.
It was like, but it still wasn't like fact-based stories. Like think of everything that we heard about, like Tommy Hilfiger not liking black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was never. It was always just like, oh, I heard this, I heard that. There's never ever a person that said, oh, I was in that room when that was said.
That's true.
Oh, I saw the letter or whatever. There's no people that never actually like happened.
But that did get him the fuck up out of here though. People stopped wearing Tommy Hilfiger.
Black people did. It's still a national brand though. Like if you go all across the world, you can still buy Tommy Hilfiger. It's still a top brand.
Well,
it's just not on our radar. So we think like, oh, he got rolled off just because black people not fucking with him, but it didn't hurt his money at all. He still went across the world and sold Tommy.
True.
And then he just took Hilfiger off, and it was Tommy Bahama, and then it was Tommy this, Tommy that, but it was still. If he still went into Macy's, he still had his own section every single year, every single season.
Yeah,
he's got at least one section. He's got a Tommy Hilfiger section.
But those shirts is trash though.
It doesn't matter. It still sells. But in our mind, that nigga fell off. We was done with that nigga. We wrote him off. Who the fuck is wearing Tommy Hilfiger? A lot of motherfuckers.
Really? I never see it.
He's on. He never really fell off. He's been back on majorly in the last few years.
Producer is agreeing. I hate the producer. But back to the information thing, like, so you don't think that it's a problem?
It is a problem because it is a lot of information coming at you that you can't really check, and I feel like if more so than anything, it makes them probably numb. Yeah. Because it's like if every second you're hearing about some like a police brutality story or some kid who was snatched up somewhere, or every few months you're hearing about somebody who's got some woman in the basement who's been there for years. And
you know, that kid getting snatched up thing is wild to me because like I remember us just running around in the street like crazy.
Yeah, but it's still like our parents said like, yo, watch out.
Yeah,
look out for this, look out for that. But it wasn't like we weren't really watching the news enough to see like how often it was happening in other areas.
So why aren't we letting our kids go out now though? Because
they're not really going out, not because of that, just because they're stuck in the house on technology.
That's true.
But I mean, I definitely have a big like parent paranoia of like what happens to my kids when they leave the home.
That's true. Like I hate when they like ride bikes down to the library.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where they're going. Just stepping outside the door, it just makes I have some kind of like anxiety about it. And just me having the number of kids that I have, me having 7 kids, I feel like life is a numbers game. Everything is about like.
That's true. Because the probability is higher.
My probability is higher of something happening to one of my kids. Because if in one of every 4 kids is this, one in every 5 kids is this, one in every 7 kids is that, like my probability is higher with having all these kids.
That's true. I didn't even think about it like that.
And then I have to spread myself a lot thinner to try to cover them in all these areas. When I was like, damn, like you're going here, you're going to a concert, like are you covered? You're going to a field trip, are you covered? I can't be everywhere at once. So it's like, it'll give you anxiety, for sure, just living in this day and age. And then even us, like, we're adults in this day and age, and we're getting all this information too, and we can process it a lot better. So what is that doing to us as parents? Constantly hearing about somebody's kid getting shot down by police, somebody's kid getting kidnapped, somebody's kids hit and runs, kids getting bullied online and killing themselves at home. Like you got to worry, and then now you got to worry about your kids at the home. Like what's your temperament like? What are your feelings like, etc.
That's true. So there's a few points that you hit, and it's funny because those are topics that we're supposed to hit anyway. So the bullying, Because cyberbullying is different. Now, some people may have called me a bully in high school. All right?
That's a fact.
I don't know those people. But
Definitely.
what I'm saying
definitely
is...
bully.
Well, what I'm saying is like...
But it didn't feel like it though, right?
Yeah, but the bullying was
hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, but bullying, like, for me, right? I don't think that I would have been affected if someone would have talked to me crazy on the internet. Because I was giving Stone Cold Stunners at school.
Because that's our idea of bullying is what we saw on TV shows.
Yeah, like
that's
somebody
like,
coming
like
your
asking
locker.
you for your lunch money and shit like that. Somebody like really fucking with you. That was my idea of bullying. I always thought like, oh, I'm gonna encounter that person someday.
Yeah.
Because that's what you saw in every single show. Every single show has
That's true.
some kind of bully. So
And
I
somebody
always
was
thought,
always in the locker.
yeah, I always thought at some point somebody's gonna ask me for my lunch money, and like I got to be ready for that. That's what a bully is.
It's true.
But in all actuality, we were bullies.
Yeah,
When you think
because
about it,
I always like to
kinda
meet
terrorize
things with aggression.
Yeah.
So, like, if I felt like somebody was trying to bully me, they would get a Stone Cold Stunner. Quick.
Yeah, but definitely, there's people just got Stone Cold Stunners just for getting Stone Cold Stunners. That's bullying.
That's true. Well, you know, I don't count those Stone Cold Stunners because those Stone Cold Stunners were given for with a purpose.
The bully never counts it. The bully always thinks there's a purpose.
That's true. So, because I was a bully, I would probably be numb to people.
Yeah,
Like a smash
you know,
page.
like we laugh it off and shit, but there's no telling how like that person might have went home like, oh man, like people, like I fell out in front of the school, people laughed at me.
That's
in the hallway,
true.
Like, you know what I'm saying, my ass was out.
I did gore this girl one time. And for people that don't know what gores are, it's when you run full speed and you hit somebody with your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I gored the
football
girl,
time.
right? Yeah. And she flew off her feet and hit the wall. She laughed.
Oh yeah, that's embarrassing.
But
You're gonna laugh at. I'm sure you'll laugh at the moment, but it's
true.
It's not always funny to everybody.
That's
and there's
probably
no
true.
telling like what happened after that moment. She went to the bathroom and
I'm sorry, girl that got the gore. I forgot her name. I gave a lot of gores though.
see what I'm saying?
But, all right, so back to the bully thing. Because I remember the year I graduated out of high school, maybe 2 years later, the whole MySpace thing came out, right? And I was working at Loma Alta. And I remember they had smash pages that had came out. So basically, each smash page would talk about everyone in that school.
Oh, we had the Smash book in school.
Yeah.
I remember the Smash book.
Exactly.
It
So
was lit.
they were already like, so people, the whole school would be able to see it
Yeah.
on your social media, and people would, you know, social media was kind of new, so people would just have issues with it and then go to school.
In
and,
school, our slam book was on Black Planet.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So it was a little bit different because Black Planet didn't get as big as MySpace, right? So when your
My Black Planet page is still up.
your Black Planet page is still up,
Yeah, I'm half naked. I'm still half naked on Black Planet.
But so,
It's
so
lit.
what my point is that is the cyberbully really a bully?
Yes.
So
Is the victim is still the victim. That's like asking the question of if a tree falls down in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, does it still make a sound? Like, you've heard that question before, and people will really say like, no, it doesn't.
well, yeah, that's true. Because that's
Like,
if
it
a
makes
human doesn't hear it, that's that whole human mentality. We're very cocky like
what
that.
is like a person
Like
have
fuck those
hearing?
deers and
Yeah,
rabbits.
what's that
and
got to
shit
do
that heard
with
it.
the fact that sound reverberates when something hits something? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like no one cares about
Yeah,
that.
so, like,
I wasn't there.
No, it definitely affects someone. It's affecting people. Like, the fact that there's
It's-
victims means that it's affecting people. There's victims.
Yeah, because like Zaya the other day, she came home from school and well, she didn't come home. I went to pick her up from the after school program, and the after school instructor was like, "Oh, we had an incident today." And to me, incidents meant like Zaya was throwing some blows, and it was like, "No, this girl said she had Payless shoes on," and I was like, "She's wearing Vans," but Zaya got hurt about it, and I was like, yo, you gotta be tougher. Because I just remember, like, from grade school, when I was in school, like, you got ate up every single day. So, I guess my question is, are we, like, are our kids so, like, censored now that the smallest things hurt them? Because I don't think that wasn't a good joke to me.
You didn't hear the context of how the girl said it to her, though.
Yeah, she like, even if you're like, aha, you have Playlist shoes on, I just look down at my feet and be like, nah, these is Vans.
It doesn't matter.
It's like,
it doesn't matter. If you're like, if it's a kid with another the kid on each side of them pointing and laughing at you, it doesn't matter. That's bullying. Yeah, that's like a small thing, but it could be. But that is an example of how it goes down.
I guess.
I don't know. Like my kids, they don't play that. Like if you try to bully them, they'll fight you like on the spot. It's a wrap. And then we just deal with it like once the teacher calls and the school calls. But like I hear about it definitely all the time. And it's like, yeah, Dad, there's this kid who's like goes around. He's like, he bullies kids in general. And I was like, you hear about it, and the school knows about these kids. The school's like, yeah, this kid is experiencing some problems at home. We're not, we're trying to deal with the best way we can. Mm-hmm. But I mean, as it goes on, though, every day I would hear about like, yeah, he messed with this kid today. He messed with that kid today.
That's crazy because I used to get those problems when Zaya was at the other school. Mm-hmm. Now that she's around other minorities that look like her, she doesn't get as much slack as she used to get. So like now, I think that's the only incident that I've heard in the last 4 years of the Payless shoes incident. Mm. But she's in junior high now, so the jokes kind of intensify. I think I feel like she should be getting talked about maybe 5 times a day, but they don't talk about it. I just feel like that's what I'm saying. Like
it's really
cyberbullying is
all
like
about
they
the
don't.
Groups that you're in as well.
Yeah, that's true.
It
My
also
daughter's a
depends
nerd.
on like the dynamics of the schools, the dynamics of like your neighborhood. Like you can have a strong background, but if every day the school that you spend most of your time in every day is majority, you feel like it's against you and you're a minority in that setting, it'll do something to you. So there's a lot of factors that play into a lot of things. Like you can raise a strong kid, but the fact is that a school is really kind of raising your kid more than you are. So that what happens in school really affects a kid, and parents don't really know what's going on with a kid that's at school.
That makes sense.
Think about everything that you felt and were going through. It's at school. Your parents don't know anything about that, like school fights and argument or whatever. They don't unless the school calls them. They don't know anything about that, or unless you bring that attitude home, they don't know anything about that. And you go to school every day for 12 grades at least.
So when you, because I always give Zion a speech, and this is how I handle my parenting with her so she understands why I get upset when she does things at school. I always tell her what you do in the public eye is an image of me, right? So if you're out there acting a fool, just like you said earlier, the teachers always contributed to there's a problem at home. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So I try to alleviate that by saying, hey, when you go to school, you have to present yourself as if I was there because you're pretty much an image of me. Do you do that with your kids?
I don't. I feel like I don't have to with the girls. The boys more so. They're more rowdy.
Yeah. The boys
but the girls they're pretty secure in who they are. Uh-huh. So they're in their personality. So that's really kind of, and their personality is already calm anyway. Mm-hmm. The boys is more of kind of like an uncontrolled rowdiness. So I kind of have a more conversation with them about it. Mm-hmm. But I talk to all my kids as a whole, just hey, I just sit them all down hey, how are you guys feeling? If there's anything going on at school, let me know. You've got a bunch of brothers and sisters, so if we got to pull up on anybody, let me know. I don't mind, talking to anybody's dad. I can't wait for the moment that I have to pull up on, a kid and their dad and, saying, what's good? Because you're not about to bully my kids.
That's true. I've been waiting so long for, something like that to happen. Dad, their dad said this. And I'm but it's just Zaya's a sweetheart, so most parents just love her. And usually they'll get their kids because of Zaya. But you stay ready for those moments because I remember growing up, those were the moments that would happen. My mom would come to the school and be turned.
Yeah.
And then you would just have to deal with whatever the hell just happened. I don't even know why my mom is here yelling at this other lady.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna disrespect her kids and stuff like that. So because we're raised of that cloth, it's that's what.
I can't wait to. Oh, my kids are gonna.
Now we waiting for.
I'm gonna get my dad. This is gonna be my kids. I'm gonna call my dad.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm right there.
Yeah, that's.
I know for a fact that there's a timeline on my father because one day I'm totally gonna snap.
That's true.
As a father, because it's just like I said, it's a numbers game. There's way too many kids, and I had to snap.
Yeah.
Like we already know, like just from you knowing me, there's situations that have already happened within my fatherhood where I could have snapped already. And so there's already just like a timeline. I feel like I'm just.
It like bubbles up in you, like because your kids. Because I was talking to one of my homeboys at work the other day, and he was saying like, you know, when I was younger, you know, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, there was like the smallest things that make you snap, right? And then as you get older, your trigger points are a little bit harder to achieve for other people. It's like if you just yelling something, like I'm not really going to worry about that. But if you're like doing something extra, you know what I'm saying? Like if it comes to the kids or something like that, then now like I don't care if you blow in my daughter's way, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm a very calm, like calculated person. But when it comes to like kids or any like people within my circle, like I just
yeah, it's
like the calculation, like it's just gone. But I know that about myself, and but I feel like having daughters once the daughters get older to the point that they're at now, like around that age of being like 6, 7, 8, and they really like are kind of settling into their personality and their voices and asking you a lot of questions. It kind of like softens you as a person.
It does.
And kind of like really tests your patience.
Yeah.
For sure.
I always
definitely changed my parenting.
I be wanting to. I meant to ask you because I meant to ask Dale this too when we did the second one. But he has all boys, so I don't think he could relate. Like, isn't there something about the girls that kind of just like make you a little softer in life?
Yeah,
but then the boys harder you back up.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like I can't do whoopings now.
Yeah.
Like I grew up a product of whoopings. I don't really have anything against whoopings, but I can't do whoopings because you can't whoop the girls because you don't want the girls to get used to a guy hitting them. So then you can't hit the boys because it's like you don't hit the girls. So in general, like you can't do whoopings. Now I do a whole lot of threatening, like boy, I'll threaten to whoop ass, but I don't actually whoop ass.
Yeah, I'm down with the whoopings. Like, but I remember when Zaya was younger, like there was a lot of corrections that I had to do. I believe that when you're whooping your children, and I think my mom kind of failed at this because she didn't explain what she was whooping me for until she was whooping me. And it was like, you can't, and I'm like, I'm not paying attention to what you're saying. So I used to have conversations just like I do with Aiden now. Like, this is why you're in trouble. This is why this is happening. This is what you're in trouble for, you know? And then Zaya used to get popped. And I think our parents probably went a little overboard, so I like to stop.
Yeah, because whoopings was definitely a style. When we were a kid.
So
and there's a difference between like being like a little like a baby and like a pat on the hand and like actual like whoopings. Like I don't do whoopings.
Yeah, like see,
and I don't have any babies to pat on the hand, so it's like I'm really stern. Like I got that voice that sounds like I'm a whoop ass. And
I have a problem with abuse, and that'll be something that I'm talking about later on.
I'm kind of the same way, but I'm not gonna let my kids know that.
Yeah. So
for all my kids know, I'm daddy whoop ass.
Yeah. So,
but when they think about it, it's like, damn, daddy ain't whooping no ass.
Yeah. Like no, I'm telling you, like at this point now, because I remember when I was younger, I used to get hit like with hands, right? So, and psychologically, it kind of fucks you up because then now when your parents are coming to embrace you, you know, you have the whole flinch thing, right? So I learned early to not hit the kids with my hands. So like Aiden has never been hit with my hands. Like Zaya had to learn early. I was really young, so like I would like give her a thump, you know, on the head, like that or whatever, you know. But now I don't raise my hands at them because when I want to nurture them or when I'm handing them something like that, you use your hands a lot with your kids.
Yeah, I'm very hands-on person.
Exactly. So they know they're in trouble when I have a belt in my hand. And see and I learned that in psychology. It was like, yo, it's a trigger. And I was like, and I thought back to my childhood, like, fuck, I used to flip. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you about to hit me.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I took all the way out. And they only get belts. I'm not torturing them with the whole get the switch.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
I've never been hit with a switch.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been hit with anything I've never been hit with a switch or like a paddle.
I never been hit with a paddle, but I've definitely got a switch once or twice.
Or an extension cord. I never got an extension cord.
Oh yeah, I did, but it was abuse. But yeah, so I know for sure. Like my mom wasn't down with that. My mom was down with. She made me get a switch once, and she hit me with a belt a few times. But yeah, with whoopings, man, it's very touchy nowadays too.
Yeah, my parents had a belt that was just for whooping ass. Like it was real thick, like dumb. It was like rawhide.
What?
Like it didn't even have a buckle. It was never worn. It was purely just for ass whoopings.
There was no buckle?
No.
Oh damn.
It was never worn. It was something that was bought at like a gift shop on the way from like New Mexico to California. So
did they nail it up on the wall?
Indian,
right.
Indian thick.
Did they nail it up on the wall though?
No,
like,
we had
so
like a big like
coming?
volume. So it was like something like this, but like taller, and the belt sat on top of that.
So you know when they were
You already knew.
there,
You already knew the deal. This shit hung like almost to the ground, my nigga.
Shit.
It was made for whooping ass.
That sounds very scary.
Yeah.
But it's cool though because you know when they were coming with you, even if they were angry, if they were coming towards you, it was embracing.
No, my dad was a very like hands-on with his ass was like with hands.
Oh,
my mom
punch
used
in the chest.
My dad used like an open hand slap. It was weird because he was a pimp, and it sounds funny, but that's just how how his hands how I'm saying. It's like he would talk like this, but at any point in time, like if you would feel like something like that was coming.
Oh yeah, so you have to.
Yeah.
No, I get that. So
and I actually asked him. I was like, Dad, like why do you do like this? Like you never know. I just be talking, just have to. And that was his exact answer.
I can't wait.
And that stuck with me. I was probably, I don't know, like 9 or something, like 10 on that something. I was like, Dad, because he drove number Cadillacs, and I always in the passenger seat. I was like, Dad, whenever you driving and talking, you just you're doing this to him. Why are you always doing this to him? He's like, hey, you never know, man. Sometimes, bop.
Yeah, man.
That always stuck with me.
It was something about like dads back then. Like they just didn't. Like my dad never actually whooped me, but that's because he wasn't around. But like, yeah, man, this abuse is a motherfucker. So I just make sure that I don't abuse kids.
Yeah. And then the fact that like having Jalen, who's not my son when I'm raising him, I can't really whoop his ass.
That's true.
He has he's at an age where it's like I can't really whip his ass. You gotta let his mom handle that or his dad handle that on a physical point. I can just handle that as far as like the punishment point.
Yeah, and like you need to do this or whatever.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want someone whipping my son. I don't care how long you've been raising him. I don't want someone like whipping my son.
That's true. That's wild, man. I've only dated maybe like 1 or 2 people that like had like kids, and it's different because I'm under the belief that like I don't want to, I guess, treat their kids better than my kids. So at the same time, I treat everyone equally. Mm-hmm. So like my kids, I'm going to treat your kid the same way I treat my kid. So the same way that I'm super sarcastic and fairly playful, but that's just the way that I feel like
you should do it. The same.
Yeah, you gotta treat everyone across the board the same way. But you're right, you can't like fuck them up. So you gotta just be like,
just be as stern as you can without actually fucking them up.
Yeah, exactly.
But when he gets 16, it's gonna be a different story.
It's true.
Then I could thump you in your chest.
Or like a water balloon or something. I always want like a bucket of water balloon.
Yeah, when the boys get like 16, it's a different story.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All the other shit gets out the window. When they start feeling themselves and it's like, Dad, I ain't gotta do shit, Dad.
That's true.
It's gonna be a point where every like guy gets to that point where they think they can take their pops, or if there's a guy around there like they think they can take him.
Yeah, I was.
Tell them in their chest.
Cause my son is like already like super bold and stuff like that. So I can just imagine him at 17. I'm about to fuck his little ass.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm totally with that. So the
That's the only reason. That's why I go to the gym now.
To get grown man buff for when
they whoop my ass at 17.
That's true.
These 17-year-olds is buff, man. You see how big Randy is? He bigger than me.
That's true.
17-year-old Randy gonna be big as shit. I gotta get buff, man.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta be ready because that's funny. I didn't think about that. My son's solid. He
Oh
gonna
my goodness.
knock people out. He gonna try to throw something at me though.
Him
He
and
ain't gonna be
Jalen
ready.
team up and Menendez beat me.
We gonna fuck dad up together.
Oh my goodness.
Facts. That's funny. All right, so. You had said something earlier about police, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Police brutality and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't see it too much different from how we were growing up. I don't think it's changed. I just think now that people are actually catching it. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember like when I was younger, especially in my teenage years, and I was hanging out in LA being ridiculous with my cousin. They used to do shit like that. Like I think it was like 19 or something like that, and it's funny because the night that this happened, we were in downtown LA and we were driving back to my grandma's house, and I took Western, and Lynn took Crenshaw. We were in two different cars, and I was at my granny house for like 3 hours. I'm playing the game. I'm eating popcorn. I had dinner. And he still didn't show up, and they had pulled him over. Took his money out of his wallet because he had cash. Mm. That's when I was like, yo, I'm not carrying cash no more. Yeah. They took his money out of his wallet. They were looking through his car without the warrant or his consent, and they had him handcuffed and sitting on the thing for like 2 hours, right? And it's always you fit the description why you pull me over. Or we have a murder suspect that had a do-rag on. Yeah. And in the early 2000s, we all wore do-rags. That was just the normal thing.
The wave.
Yeah, I was like, it's like
everywhere.
Wave caps for no reason, right?
Dang, I still got a bunch upstairs for no reason.
So, you said, one hanging out your back pocket, another one that's on your head. Yeah. So.
They two different colors.
Yeah, so, and now you see it, people are filming it now, right?
Yeah. But even then, our moms would be like, hey, don't wear that do-rag at the house.
Yeah. And don't talk crazy to the police.
It's the same thing. But here's the difference is the police back then were purposely fucking with us on some racist shit. I lived on this, the same street we're on, I lived on this street as a kid. Mm-hmm. And these same sheriffs fuck with me and my friends as kids. We was walking down the street, and there's two sheriffs, and one of them pulled a gun out. I was like, hey, is one of this y'all's?
Yeah.
What? Huh? What? They just thought that shit was funny. But now the issue isn't racist cops. The issue is that they're hiring cops so fast that they're not properly trained and they're jumpy and they're shooting the fuck out of motherfuckers.
Yeah,
so it's not even racism. It's just that they're just scared because of their own fear of black people from before the job. They were fast tracked in to fill these fill some spaces. They're not properly trained, and now they out there with. They don't grew up their whole life in a white city, scared of some black folks.
Scared of black people.
They first little pullover, thought dude was reaching for his registration, all that shit, pop.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So how do you combat that in your parenting? How do you get...
You can't. That's where the paranoia comes in. Because how am I supposed to control what a non-properly trained cop does or what some kid who... took a weapon to school does, or see what I'm saying? I can't control what other people do. It doesn't matter how well-mannered my kids are, because I have the best, most well-mannered kids on the planet. I can take them anywhere, and everyone will say, your kids are so well-mannered. But what does that have to do with somebody else who wants to cause them harm?
That's true, because if you come out there with the intent to do something crazy and you do it, there's no way that you combat that. Because my thing is it's funny because my auntie used to give us, he's like, yeah, she had these cars. I shit you not, I'm laughing because to this day I remember my cousin being like, what the fuck? They about to wipe their ass with this and shoot us. But it was a lawyer card. So when you got pulled over,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to put the lawyer card that you pay a retainer, like you pay monthly on.
Yeah.
And you give him the card
Mm-hmm.
with your California ID.
Yep.
Right?
I think I used to. I went to a couple meetings to try to sell that.
Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, my auntie was selling it at the time. And it was one of those Ponzi schemes. I wasn't down. I was like, nah, this is a pyramid. I'm not doing it. But Miguel actually did. I think he still has like a few lawyers on it. And it actually helped him. But I always thought like in just driving around Los Angeles as much as I did in my Monte Carlo doing whatever the fuck I was doing, me being pulled over so often and not getting tickets, I had a problem with it. And it wasn't until like maybe 3-4 years after that 1 year that I got pulled over, like I think it was like 267 times. Because after a while I just started tallying. So every time they pulled me over, I would take it down on my dash, make another thing and put it back. And the sheriff had told me, he was like, when police officers pull you over and there's nothing that they can find, even if it's a small thing, they don't write you a ticket for you. They don't write you a ticket for it because they want you to continue to drive around like that. So in hopes that they will find something later. So every time I was getting pulled over, they weren't giving me a fix-it ticket. It was like, oh yeah, you're fine, just go. So the day I did have something, it was like bam. So they just like they felt like,
So
we
Monte
got
Carlo,
it.
man. Like Monte Carlo is one of those calling the cop cards.
Yeah, and I get it, but that wasn't what I was doing. And at the same time, like, come on, dude, like at least like attempt to try to at a point where you know my name, and you're just like, oh, Mr. Johnson, like,
Nah,
what
man,
you
you
doing
got one of
today?
them faces.
Yeah, I guess.
You got one of them faces.
I guess.
We both do. I got.
Yeah.
They just put me here to discuss.
Yeah, and then
And then, like, you might get something off me, you might not. Oh, like, oh, your license is suspended.
yeah.
But you don't know that by just, like, me riding in the car.
Right. Or I remember one time they pulled me and Dale over. We were in Harbor City, and they were like, I was like, oh, why you put me over? And he looked inside my car. He didn't even know yet. He was just like, oh, you have something hanging from your windshield.
I know for a fact, like, I'm getting pulled over.
Yeah.
If I hop on and drive, if I drive, I know, like, oh, there's a 50% chance I'm getting pulled over just because.
I told Dale that too. Like they were on the other side of the island, and they were coming. They were going down, right? And then they were coming up, and we were going down. And I was like, "Yo, they about to pull us over." Dale was like, "Nah, you paranoid." I'm like, "Dale." Like they looked over at us. They about to pull.
Yeah.
And they busted a U, and they came back and they pulled us over. And the dude told us too. He was like upfront about it. He was like, "Yo, we don't know who's." Driving around. We're just trying to make sure that everything's on the up and
Yeah,
up.
I got one of those faces.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, you gonna get. We're not gonna take the car because my license was on hold then, so they let Dale drive.
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll always let you go.
yeah,
As long as you ain't got another, it doesn't matter like what. If it's something small, like you're saying, they don't write you that ticket.
Yeah.
I've been driving with a suspended license for years. They always let me go because there's nothing on me.
yeah,
They're
want
waiting.
something.
They're waiting for the chance to actually catch me with something. Like, damn, I thought there'd be more on you. I thought you would have like a bad history or something, and like I thought I'd just get you off of just cause. But all you got is a suspended license. Like I see that every day. Get out of here.
Yeah. So do you think that with that said, and of course the paranoia with the kids and things like that.
Like, how do you prepare them for that?
Yeah, like because for me, I'm just like, yo. Just do the best you can, like, at any time. Like, representation of me, being yourself, being smart, being, knowing your surroundings, things like that. But you're right, there's no way that you can, because especially if they're hemming you up for like, oh, he looked back twice.
Yeah.
They
They my kids know that I'm very argumentative
mm-hmm.
about anything that's like, if I feel like there's I feel like you're just fucking with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna argue back. Before I think about it. Like it's probably, even if it's probably not the best time to argue it. Like I'm just gonna let you know where I stand and how I feel about it at that time, and that's just we'll just go about it from there. So, in my kids, I guess if they've seen enough examples of me like telling people like, no, you're wrong for that. I don't like how you just came at me like, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were at the Denny's in Pasadena.
Uh-huh.
Matter of fact, one time and the people, like, there was some white boys that came in after us. We were all in line. It was like these three like frat boys or something like that. They came in, they was in line, and they was like, oh man, I don't feel like waiting in line. They're one of these. And then this person like pulled them out of the line and sat them down.
Uh-huh.
And I felt some kind of way about it. I was like, and there's other people saw it and they felt some kind of way, but nobody said anything. So like I went, I walked the kids to the car, and on the walk to the car, like one of the girls was like, yo, what happened? And Randy was like, you didn't see that? Like they sat the white guys down before they sat us.
Uh-huh.
And that's why like Dad said, let's go.
Yeah.
So I went and put him in the car, and I went back and talked to the manager like, yo, like, you know, what's up? Like I'm not feeling that. I didn't want to I didn't want to get in your face in front of these kids, but
Uh-huh.
like I'm not feeling that. I feel like that was wrong. Like I don't feel like spending any money in here. Like you see, I've got a bunch of kids. Obviously, we're gonna spend a bunch of money in here, but
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. If that's how, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna do things.
Uh-huh.
And they addressed it, and they gave us some, you know, a discount or whatever. And like it wasn't much, but you know, at least I addressed it. They saw their dad address what I felt like, you know, was racism in that moment, and that's what they.
Uh-huh.
That's what they can go off of, like experiences like that. Even, you know, like I don't have a bunch of good experiences with my dad, but the first like 12 years of my life, like he was definitely someone who was very much about his blackness.
Yeah.
Like he would very much let you know, like you're not about to disrespect me, and that's a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s. Like I've definitely seen him time and time again, like tell someone like white, like, no, you're not gonna fuck with me. I don't care if, like, you know who you are, like if you're.
Yeah.
But he was more respectful about it. Like,
Mm.
it doesn't matter. But you're not about to disrespect him. And he
Was
was
it
very
pimpish?
much. Huh?
Was it pimpish?
No. See, that's the thing. It was a very much a duality of him. Like during the day, it was very much like a gentleman. Like he was like a car salesman, a Muslim, very respectable person. They called everybody sir and all those type of things. But at night, stealing those cars from the car lot or selling those cars on the backhand somehow. Definitely like a pimp. On a major scale. Like it was definitely like downplayed, but you know, the older you grow in life, the more you learn about people.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like a top player in this field. But then when it comes to like his blackness, like it was definitely like no joke. Like he was very much someone who
That's
was
usually
like
how
Malcolm
Muslims
X
be,
and
though.
yeah, like if I
Yeah.
run into Muslims right now and I say my dad's name, it's like, oh, that's him. Like, yeah, he's a very, you know, respectable person. But they don't know that other side of him. But they definitely know him, like, for representing that strong black side of him. Like he went to the mosque, he went to church. Like he was amongst like the pimps and the players. Like Johnny Cocker was his lawyer.
All around, just
Yeah, he was everywhere.
That's crazy. So that's,
So that was my example, and that's of what of how to use your blackness in society. So I guess I took the best version of that, and that's kind of like what I use.
What
and that's
you use for
what my
yourself,
kids see.
right?
Yeah, like my kids,
So-
they don't see me being a punk when it comes to my blackness.
So how does that equate to like how you handle their stance? Because in society, you know, sometimes we have to like kind of scale back a little bit to
Yeah,
make sure that our kids know, like, hey, you know, you have to do this, but you have to be step lightly when you
I would
when you're out
say-
here dealing with, like, especially law enforcement, because that's one of the biggest things, man. Like, one of my biggest fears now is that they don't come home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like from whatever, and if it's something that's an accident
yeah,
or, you know, something that
Like a
could
Chandra
be-
Brown.
Yeah, but if it's at the hands of a person,
yeah,
that's going to trigger me. It doesn't matter what you are.
yeah,
So I always try to. I just try to. Hey, you know, if you guys are gonna, this is how you deal with certain situations. This is how you deal with law enforcement. Even the sheriffs, because I know a lot of sheriffs from my job, and they even tell their kids, like, yo, when you there's some douchebag sheriffs out there, or there's some douchebag cops out there that just have fucked up days or whatever, and they want to take it out on people.
yeah,
So be very respectful. Make sure that, you know, you don't put your hands in your pocket. You don't make any slutty moves. Because like you said, there's a lot of people out here that's scared.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I always say, and I told my auntie this one day, I was like, if you're scared, don't do the job. Because if you're a first responder,
Yeah.
that's any ambulance. If you're a paramedic, if you are a EMT, police officer, firefighter, if you're scared, you probably shouldn't be in those roles. So because a lot of the time, like I want to have the conversation.
Shouldn't, but a lot of this, at least half of those people are just there for a check. They're not thinking that I'm going to actually come across a situation where I'm actually going to have to shoot somebody.
But when you're a police officer, you
life.
are though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. There's always going to be there's always going to be a need for police officers.
Yes, that's a recession-proof job.
Yeah. So I always say you have to play the role, because I remember when I was going for the sheriff's department or whatever, my whole ideology going in was like, I need to make a change, right? And of course they DQ'd me for, of course, family affiliation with gangs and things like that. But I felt like they needed to let a lot more people in like us that know how to deal with the streets, because they're failing at dealing with the streets right now. And you just see it when they go in black neighborhoods, they go in there extremely aggressive, and I don't think they know the aggressive nature of African Americans. Like, you can't meet our aggression. Like, our aggression is second to none.
Yeah.
So, I always try to tell them, like, yo, I need to chill.
So
your mom don't.
I guess to answer your question, so I gave you the example of like strong blackness in your face and shit. But like around 12, like was when I just decided to like part ways with my pops. Like I just decided that just wasn't gonna be a good setting for me. I have to go.
Yeah.
So from then on, it was more so like of me being way too aware of my blackness, just pulling back. Because like I'm not really sure, just unsure of like myself, just kind of growing into my blackness, but just not really sure of like what to do with it.
Okay.
So fast forward to me being like out of high school, being a young adult out here. I'm a security guard. I purposely am taking jobs in dangerous areas because I feel like I'm way too timid. I don't have enough confrontation. Like I don't feel like anyone ever actually like stepped to me enough to like really test what I'm really like in a real world setting. Like you, I don't even know if you like really realize this, but all the times that we like I would spend at your house and you guys would like play wrestling, I'm actually just standing off to the side.
That's true.
Like I never actually like wrestled with you guys. That just wasn't my thing.
Okay.
So like I'm real like timid, standoffish. So I would take jobs, Crenshaw and Slauson at Rouse.
Oh, okay. I remember that Rouse.
Yeah, I worked there for like a year or two.
Oh, okay.
You got to be ready to like stop niggas from stealing alcohol and shit. Like that's a real test of like your manhood in like in a real world setting.
Yeah.
Not like what a sitcom bully is. What like a real nigga is. Like a gangster niggas will come in there and try to steal some shit. Like, are you gonna stop this nigga? Or are you gonna let this nigga walk over you? Type of shit.
That's true.
See what I'm saying? And I'm in there like really stopping niggas. And I got to see these niggas in the parking lot after or whatever in the world. So, that I did that to kind of like balance it out. So I feel like at this point of being a parent, I know how to properly tell them like how to balance it out to where it's like you're not getting ran over, but you're not being too aggressive either. But we're not really at that point yet. I feel like this is like now my boys are at the age where they're ready for that.
Yeah.
Like we have that conversation. Like I throw it out there. Excuse me. But we just need to, like I said, reinforce it more because they're getting bigger. Especially like for Randy, like he could be perceived to be older and more dangerous than he is. Yeah. But you see how like quiet and timid he is. Like he don't want no problems. But it's all about how what I'm saying he looks. If he has like the wrong outfit on in the wrong area, is he? Like I'm saying, is he prepared for that? I feel like I was prepared to be like if I know like what color I got on in what area. If somebody says something to me, am I prepared for somebody to say something to me? I don't feel like my kids are. I feel like the 12-year-old version of me would fuck up the 12-year-old version, like my 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but see, I think that's part of like I think it's good, but it's part of the issue as well. Like we grew up rough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to Dale, and I was telling him like our kids are so much better than us now, right? Because they have a better platform. Because I was saying last week on the episode that I had is that all of us take care of our kids, so they have, but we all overcompensate, right?
Yeah.
For whatever. So now our kids have this mentality.
Totally.
They're like,
I tried to get my kids a horse.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. So they have this mentality that they're a little bit more sheltered. They're better off than us. But I want Zaya to be rougher, which is weird.
Yeah. No, I'm in the same boat. Like I want my kids to be
but
a little tougher. But there's just ways to do that. You put them in like self-defense or something like that.
But
because like my boys need to learn how to get hit without me hitting them.
Yeah.
They need to learn how to like take a punch in the face. So when they get into a fight and somebody punches them in the face, they don't curl them to a ball.
But how do you get those life experiences when because I feel like we shelter the shit out of our kids now.
Yeah.
So it's like
the fact that I know it's different for me that I have so many. They have each other. Like the boys
true.
wrestle with each other. So without me having to sit there and be like, okay, this is how you punch and shit. All of my sons like they whoop ass. Like
yeah. See, I trained Zaya just so when it happens.
Yeah, and that's another
ready.
way. That's another way. So that's the two examples of how to go about it. So if you have the kid who doesn't have a bunch of siblings she's learning off of, you're the dad who's teaching them. Okay, this is how you throw a punch, or you put them in self-defense. My kids like they have each other, so they wrestle enough. Mixed with like they've seen me do some like martial arts and some things that I have like passed down to them to the point that they are basically ready for kids their age. Yeah. But they do definitely need more training as they get older for like real world settings.
And it's just like those life experiences don't come anymore.
Yeah,
that's why they
like,
always say
they're not,
kids is a lot softer.
Yeah, it seems that way, but the bullies are out there.
Oh yeah, there's still bullies out there, but I think people they're not fighting no more. They're shooting.
Yeah.
No,
there's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights.
I never see fights. Never see fights.
You know why that is? Because as an adult, you're not out and about. You're home and then you go to work. You're home. You're at the store. When you're a kid, you were out and about at school. You just be in another area for no reason, and the fight would happen, or like what I'm saying. You'd be in a party. You'd be in a situation where you'd see those type of things. But as an adult, you don't see a lot of things because you only go your intended destination.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't spend a lot of time like wandering around. Like the fact that I'm downtown every day, just like in all of the areas doing like deliveries, I see the most random things. I definitely see a fight every day. I've definitely see people like attempt to kill each other and people like take advantage of each other and accidents, and I see the most random things because I'm just randomly in these places.
That makes sense. Yeah, you have to, I guess, be thrown in those environments.
Yeah, so you think
I hold myself out of them.
You think your kid is sheltered. Think how sheltered you are of yourself by not being like randomly out in the places where these things happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Like I was like, now I only go to LA to get food, or if I'm going to get my daughter's hair done, like she goes to her grandma and things like that. I don't care like to go into those areas anymore, and I don't care for my children to be in those areas. And it's funny, I would never have, my 22-year-old self would slap the shit out of me for saying that, but my 33-year-old self was like, nah, like I'm not doing that, like that's crazy. But it's funny because when Zaya goes to Los Angeles, right, when she's out in LA, she's doing her thing with her cousins and things like that, she encountered those things. Like she'll fight someone, she'll get to bite her bottom lip and go off. But like when she's with dad, it's like this sweetheart. So
you're a totally different person when you're not with your parents.
Yeah, so
but you gotta prepare your kids to be, who they are from when they're not around you, for who they present themselves to.
Yeah, but like, why are you so sensitive? And then
because as parents, we have a way of like touching our kids. Like I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but the women that raised me, because I wasn't raised by like my actual parents, but the women that raised me definitely knew how to speak to me in ways that affected me more than the ass whooping would.
Yeah.
So it was like I cried just as hard as if I got my ass whooped, but just for some words.
There's some
So
people that
you don't realize you're doing the same thing
give
with
you
your dog.
that, and you just
You know how
feel
that affects
extra
your dog.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we got to do this for producer Right. She just wants us to one time because it's just been sitting there all day.
Yeah, you got to use your props.
Right. So that brings me to it. Monday's Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember when we were younger, when they used to be like, yeah, you gotta check your calendar just to make sure it's not anything unwrapped. Don't eat, right?
That was a real thing.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was like, we thought it was just like some that happened somewhere off, like one time thing, but no, that's like a thing that happens in like a big big numbers. There's people out there that just want to see other people hurt.
Yeah. So do you go through all the candy? Cause we
just only eat certain kind.
Okay. Yeah. See, I eat all their candy. So like the jokes is on them if they're trying to kill my kids. They're gonna kill Dad. Cause I eat like maybe 70% of their candy.
No, I think moms tend to go through the candy more so than anything.
Yeah.
Like the night of, and then it's kind of separated.
That's true. Like if it's peeled open or if I see a hole in it, like I'll throw those out.
Mom
That's
goes
true.
through the candy night of okay, let me see it first, and then whatever's like that ain't Starburst, that ain't Skittles, that ain't Hershey's. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's trash.
Yeah.
Like anything that looks dirty too. Like I used to hate going to the doors and they have like a tray of cookies.
I'm not taking no cookies.
Like, I'm not eating your dirt cookies. Like, what?
I'm sorry.
The hell? Even if I seen you pour them onto the tray, I'm not eating that. Like,
I don't eat anybody's potato salad. What I'm gonna do eating your Halloween cookies?
You get a whole trick for that.
Yeah.
No, this is not a treat. This is nasty ass cookies.
Don't ever take cookies from me on Halloween. It's gonna be all bad for you. Laxative cookies is going out.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, man. I think we covered most of the shit that I wanted to talk about, man. Damn. That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm parched, all out of water.
You gotta pace yourself.
This is Ran 2. That's what we were talking about last time. We were like Ran 1, Ran 2. Now you got a face. And we're gonna get out of here. We gotta go raise these kids.
If life is like a black movie, and then I'm Tay Diggs.
What?
In every black movie, there's a Tay Diggs. I'm Tay Diggs.
That's true. I'm for sure Morris Chestnut.
That's a fact. Ran 1 is Terrence Howard.
I thought he was, shit. Kurt Franklin.
He doesn't do movies.
That's true.
We gotta go with an actual cast.
Yeah, Terrence Howard works. Yeah. He always like he gonna cry. Light skinned people always like they gonna cry.
Randy's the lightest of us.
That's true. All right, man. Until next time, y'all. We gotta go raise these kids.